You're watching Loom TV, Igniting the Heart's Intelligence. This is Kelly Marlowe. Today we have Stephanie, a healer, with us. She is the veil lifter who helps people uncover their true essence and connect to it. And she's here to tell us about her journey through this unveiling process and how she helps others. Thank you for being here, Stephanie.
Hi, Kelly. It's nice to be with you today. Thank you.
So how did it start? Because from what I understand, you used to be a professional tennis player, and a serious one.
I was a professional tennis player and a professional tennis teacher for many years. I traveled around the world and the United States helping people. I also was a Special Olympics coach, and so I spent 20 years doing that. And after I spent a lot of time teaching and helping people, I had an amazing, miraculous thing happen to me. And I was in a car going to a wedding upstate New York with my husband, with my best friend, and everything went white. And it was sparkling white. And I remember hearing my husband talking on the phone to his father, and I could hear him going through the tolls, but I couldn't see him. I could only see this white light surrounding me. And all of a sudden, I heard in this booming voice, and I wasn't scared. I felt so wonderful and at ease. And I heard, "Put your palms up towards me." And I knew what to do. And I just went like that. And as soon as I did, I was engulfed. My entire body was engulfed in this white flame. And it was sparkling, and it was loving and kind and beautiful. And it was the most amazing feeling I have ever felt. And this went on for a couple of seconds, and I almost felt as if I were on a beach. I didn't see a beach, but I felt like I was on a beach. And in the distance, I saw feet walking towards me. Then I saw a robe swishing back and forth. Then I saw hands. And then I saw him, this beautiful, dark-haired man that I knew that I'd been taught was Jesus. And he said to me, "I come to you as this because this is what you know, but I am everyone and everything. And I've come to ask you for your help." And I was a little bit taken back by this. Who am I to help you? Why are you asking me? And I was a little bit scared. And he said, "I want you to heal for me." And I said, "Me? Stephanie, the tennis instructor, heal for you?" And he said, "Stephanie, I am God, and I'm going to take care of everything for you." And I said, "Well, what will my husband think? Everyone will think this is totally out of character for me. What will I do? I am God, and I will take care of everything for you."
So rewinding back, before this, you were, from what I understand, you were an atheist.
Yes, I grew up Roman Catholic. I went to Catholic school for 12 years, but I had definitely drifted away into a space of not believing in anything, including myself. Very sad, but I would hide it from many people. I was always that happy coach trying to help everybody, but I didn't help myself and didn't even know how to help myself. And there's a part of me that knew that there was something more, but I was just so tired, and I was just really sick of this planet and being here, and I didn't know what to do anymore. After I had that experience in the car, I started to see many different things, and this was overnight. I started seeing blue sparkles and purple sparkles and green sparkles, and I thought, oh, I really need to go get my eyes checked. And what it was, there were huge angels starting to appear all around me. Then I started to see people who were passing from Earth in the death cycle, and I was starting to see them. And I also had this ability to know what people were supposed to be doing. For instance, I was in a dentist chair, And I kept hearing with that booming voice, please tell this woman that she has to become a doctor. And I said no over and over. I'm not going to say that because she's going to think I'm crazy. And I finally mustered up enough confidence to tell her, I said, I know you might think this is unusual. I'm sorry if this is offending you, but I just have this feeling you're supposed to become a doctor. And she started crying, and she said, I don't know how you know this. I've been asking God forever. I've never told anyone this. And how do you know this? I said, I don't know how I know this. This is in the beginning. I didn't understand what I was doing, how I was doing it. Excuse me. So after that, I started meditating a lot. I didn't really know what I was doing either with that. I was just winging it all. And I started meditating with my hands like this. So it was very similar to what I was asked to do in the car. So I started meditating one day, and my hands felt like there were fireballs in them. And I actually pulled away, and I said, oh my goodness, what is that? And again, in that booming voice, I hear, we're turning you into a healer. And I said, okay. I had no reservations. Didn't have any worries again. And as soon as I heard that, my hands got hotter and hotter. And as they're laying on the bed, they start to lift off the bed and rise. And they stayed like this for hours upon hours and hours. And this happened for about 3 weeks, every time I would pray. And then it stopped. And I actually said, what did I do? Did I make somebody mad? Did I do something bad? I didn't know if I did something that would stop the process, and because I really didn't understand it. And I heard, you are now complete. And so without any instructions, without any, this is who you're going to do it for, this is how you're going to do it, this is when you're going to do it, nothing. Those big angels were still floating around, and I still felt love and peace, but no instructions. So I was still teaching tennis at this time, and I started noticing that people were coming to tennis with blisters or sprained ankles or back pain, and they were leaving with nothing. So I finally realized, with the help of the angels, that people were healing just by being around me, and that the next step was for me to start laying my hands on them and healing them in that way. And that's my first beginning with that was on me. I started healing myself. I started placing my hands on myself, and it's amazing when I put my hands, even just if I keep them here, within seconds I am in that white light flame feeling, and the sense of peace, the blissfulness. It is the most amazing to be with God and the angels. Is the most amazing feeling, and I want everyone to be able to do this, and they can. Everyone can do this. We're all born with this ability. We're all sent here with special gifts. I am not special. I have just awoken a little bit earlier. I'm going to help everybody get to where they need to go, and then I will be happy as a little clam, because this is why I'm doing it, is to help everybody. I started a healing practice, and people are coming to me on a private basis. I'm working with them. I'm a mother of 2 young children, so I am very cautious and dedicated to my children as well at this time. So I'm going very slowly with that, but I've written books about angels for children, and I'm also working with sound, vibration. I'm traveling around the world, healing points on the world, helping nature, helping animals. It's not just about us. It's about everyone that's on this planet, because we all share it together. And I am here to help everyone. Again, I keep saying that. I am honored to help everyone on this planet.
Most people watching this would say, if I come to you, I will then be blessed with the powers that you have. But from what I understand, they come to you and you help them see who they are first. They're not coming to become as powerful as you've been blessed with. But for them to see who they truly are and connect to that first. And that's what's more important, is to be able to see their own inner truth, not to become spiritually powerful overnight.
It is a process. And the account I was telling you before, that happened almost 7 years ago to this interview. So I have spent the last 7 years studying and learning and loving and realigning myself. So if it's taken me 7 years, I'm not going to put that on someone else, but you have to work and you have to put in the time and you have to put in the love. It's all about the love. You begin to learn that you love yourself. And that's the first gift that the healing process gives you. Your heart begins to grow, and as soon as it begins to grow, everything starts to realign, and you remember who you are and why you came here. So many people, oh, Stephanie, I want to be like you, and I want to have your gifts, and I keep telling them that I want you to be you because I can't wait to see what gifts you're going to show me. Because if everyone had the same gifts, nothing would get done. So we all need these special gifts because it's a big puzzle, and every one of us is a piece to the puzzle, and we all fit together as one cohesive piece that is a work of art.
So everyone sees what you're doing and they say to themselves, wow, I want to be able to do what she's doing. But they have to realize that they have their own unique gift.
Exactly.
And it may be very different in terms of how it manifests itself.
Yes.
And if he or she truly sees who he or she is, I think there's this acceptance that it's going to be different.
Right.
Rather than, I want to be just like Stephanie. Because what you're just describing is probably something out of a sci-fi movie where everyone's like, I want that. I want to be a superhero, right? I want to be out there and doing these amazing things that most other people can't do. And I think that's dangerous in some ways, in the sense that it's not what it's about.
And when you're aligned with divine guidance, okay, there is no danger there because it is all the brightest light. It is the most loving, caring, peaceful advice. And so when people really return to divine guidance, they realigned with true self. Everything that they're doing, even though we're in an earthly human body, and yes, we have ego things going on, whatever is going to come out is going to have divine sparkles on it, and it's going to be released to wherever they are, and they're going to start affecting everyone and everything where they are. So even if someone came for a healing and they didn't really understand what was happening to them, and they didn't know where to go with this, the divine light has already been placed in them. And even if they just stood there and did nothing, almost as if a lighthouse just stands there, right, in the midst of a turbulent sea, and brings ships ashore and helps people to safety, those people will stand there in their power, silently, but releasing, emitting this beautiful white light, healing people, helping this planet. So whether or not they'll commit to it, it really doesn't matter. As soon as you say, I would like to heal, divine guidance goes to work, and everyone starts getting you back to where you need to be. And it is when you're ready, not when they think you're ready, not when they think they want you to be ready. It's when you're ready, because this is your experience on this planet. And what you want to do with it is up to you. I have chosen to use it now for healing. In the past, I wasn't using it for healing. I was using it for myself and just to have fun and to experience this planet. Now I'm using it as service. And so everyone has that choice.
So back to your role as a veil lifter, it's not something that happens miraculously or instantly, in the sense that they're layers, right, that has to be peeled back, and it could take a while.
Well, here's just a little information for you. Everyone is born with veils in place. And these veils are there to help protect us. Because if Stephanie came and was born with no veils in place, and I had no idea what I was doing, and my hands were always healing everywhere I was going at the level that I'm doing it now, I would have become very sick. So when I was born, a veil was put into place to protect me. So when people are taking the veils off, they're just taking a level of protection that was needed because of the energy that they were in at that time. But they're slowly moving into the next part, the next season of their journey. And those protections are really not needed anymore. And it's really important to understand that there are many children coming into this planet that have 2 veils, 1 veil, and some of them no veils. So I'm saying this as a mother to anyone who's watching, that they may believe that their children have special gifts, that they are here to heal this planet as well, to really start to look into their eyes and to understand what they're trying to say to you, because they have the most omnipotent, omniscient knowledge to give to all of us. It's beautiful.
So what would be the first step for someone who's watching this and say, I am ready?
Divine guidance, and when I say divine guidance, I mean the loving beings that have created you, the support that is here to guide you and give you peace and wisdom. Not everyone, a lot of people don't understand that the Creator just didn't create us and dropped us off on earth with no help, with no support, and that we can't speak directly to our guidance. So one of the things that when you start lifting the veils, you start to feel them. Many people can see them, and then you know what's really best for you. You don't question as much. You don't worry as much. Anxiety just dissipates. It fades away. This reawakening. I remember when one of my first veils was lifted, I remember walking outside and I could smell the flowers again. I couldn't smell flowers. It was something, it was a miracle to me. And that flower is yellow and it smells so beautiful. And I remember seeing a little ladybug on the ground, and I remember thinking, I need to move you so you don't get hurt. This connection to everything, including the littlest bug or the littlest flower, and knowing that we're all in this together as one. It's such a beautiful thing, because many of us feel so alone, so tired and scared. And immediately when that veil started to leave, the peacefulness and the oneness and the understanding that there is so much more. Even after all that stuff happened to me, seeing what I did, it was that day when I was looking at the flowers and the little ladybugs, I said, wow, there is really more to this than I even understand. And then over the years, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and more beautiful. My heart is exploding with so much love and peace and kindness. It's like I didn't even want to talk to people years ago, and now I just want to know them and get to know them and understand what they're going through so I can help them help themselves.
So sometimes it's saying the anxiety or the fears, right, and the experience here that's holding them underneath the veil.
Yes.
What would you say in terms of how do you unlock that in order for the veil to lift?
Well, one of the first things, and I had mentioned this before, is to really come to an understanding with your spirit, with you, that you're ready for something different. Many of us say that we want change. Many of us say that we're willing to be part of change, but we have one foot out the door and one foot in. And we keep asking for help. We keep saying, where is it? Where is it? And divine guidance keeps saying, you keep giving us mixed signals. We don't know what to help you with or how to help you because you don't know what you want yourself. This is your experience. So we want you to show us what you truly want in your heart. And as soon as you understand that and bring that thought in and realign with that consciousness, it's just mind-boggling to me how fast things start to realign, how fast spiritual guidance, divine help can go to work for you. Because there's not a lot of rules in the divine realm, but one of them is that they can't interfere with free will. And so, as I was saying, this is your experience. And so let's just say I was a tennis pro, right? And they couldn't just come down and say, oh, well, we want Stephanie to start playing basketball now, so forget tennis. We're not going to. No, I chose to play tennis, and that's what I did for the longest time. Now, if I said, hey, guys, I'm getting a little tired of tennis, but I know that I'm a good athlete, I want to start playing basketball, then they could go to work for me with that.
So how does one figure out what he or she wants? How did you know what you want? I remember you first told me, you said, I don't want this.
Yeah,
Right.
it's to be catapulted into such power overnight did startle me a bit. That's the only part of this, not hearing God, not seeing Jesus, not seeing angels, not seeing ascended masters. It was me having power, and how backwards that is. We're supposed to be in our power. And so I learned that over time, that is something that a truth, an untruth that I learned about myself over the course of many years on this planet, which was so not true, and it was so unnecessary. But it did teach me many things, and I am thankful for it, because it helps me to understand who I am today. But it is really important to sit quietly. That is one of the things that I had a hard time with as a tennis pro. I had so much energy, this untapped energy, and it just would go all over the place. And I was diagnosed with ADHD and ADD, and I thought it was a curse. I thought it was something that was wrong with me. And in all actuality, all of that energy now is being used at the highest levels possible, and I need it to be that way. We need it to be that way. So just a little bit of information for parents that may have children that are being diagnosed in that way. I'm not a physician, but I would please ask for you to look further into that and to let your child teach you what it is that they need before you start figuring out courses of action for their ADD or ADHD or extreme energy abilities. But going back to the way that I really learned what I wanted was being still, being quiet, listening to my spirit and asking my spirit, Steph, first, I love you. You're amazing. You can do this. So what do you want to do with all of this power? How do you want to use it? And my heart just started speaking so loudly. I'd never heard my heart speak before. And it was truly miraculous as well. And I began to love myself and to respect myself and to stand up straighter and put my shoulders back. And I started teaching other women to do the same thing, to walk straight, to hold their shoulders back and say, I love you, to you, and say, you can do anything you want. You just have to start listening to how you want to do it. And it is so amazing how as soon as you get the information from your heart and your spirit, things just start to manifest, create overnight.
So what about the layers of fear and anxiety that's sitting on top, right? I think that's what the problem that we're all feeling on this planet is, that's what's driving all the cycles over and over again. Right? How do we break that? How do you break break out of that so that you can get to this level of enlightenment, of light, of really feeling in the divine and being part of that. Like a lot of people are saying, does it really exist? They question it because they're seeing so much, especially when you turn on the news, of everything else that's not this, right?
Right. Well, let's just talk about fear for a moment, okay? Fear was created to keep us safe. And many of us on this planet started using fear as our go-to. It's our first reaction to everything. And we have to see it for what it is. It's not supposed to be there for everything. It's supposed to be there for only situations that you're in danger, physical, spiritual danger. So to say, I don't want to react with fear anymore. I want to put my power first. I want to put love first. I want to put acceptance. I allow myself to be in my power first, not to be in my fear first. So it's like we have to choose that too. Everything is a choice. And so we have to really put the mindset that I choose to be in my power. I choose to put that first before fear. And I understand that it is extremely hard on this planet at this moment. I do. And many people are hurting and they're feeling broken. But I want to let everyone know that you don't have to feel that way anymore. No matter what is going on around you, you can have a sense of peace inside of you. That is the only thing that you can control is you and what you're doing and the way that you react to it. And that was the biggest part of me learning about fear. It wasn't that these situations are going on. There's always going to be things going on. It's how we react to it, how we allow it to come into our energy fields, into our hearts. How do we let it come in? Is it in a way of teaching? I'm learning from this. Please let me be open to what's happening here because everything happens for a reason. So am I letting it come in to learn from it, or am I letting it come in to hurt me and really get me off track and bring more brokenness and sorrow into my life? No, I'm not allowing that anymore.
So don't feed the energy of it. Don't grow it by thinking about it, giving intention to it.
That's a great way to put it.
Cultivating it.
Yeah. And I'm being asked to talk about one last thing. The word allow. And the word allow is the most beautiful word at the moment, because if everyone allowed everyone to be who they truly are and allow them to do whatever it is that they want to do, this place would be a more beautiful place, a better place overnight. So learning how to accept people, but going further. I'm not only going to accept them, I'm going to allow them to be who they are, because I don't decide what they do. I only decide what I do. And getting back to that, I'm deciding to be in my power, not bring in fear, and I'm going to allow love and respect of everyone and everything around me. And that has been such a beautiful part of this experience, that one simple word, allow. And I'm not going to say that my life is perfect and everything that I do is perfect. I am challenged every day. But the way that I allow myself to experience it and allow others to experience it is completely different. And it's peaceful now. It is wisdom filled. It is awesome. So back years ago, I wouldn't say, oh, something really terrible happened to me, and it was awesome, and it was wisdom filled, and it brought me blessings ultimately, because I learned so much about myself and my journey and what everyone else is needing. And And so there is so much connected to situations, and to dive deeper and to allow yourself to see it for what it truly is. And the word allow really lets you know that. And sometimes during this process, because I had to learn this process, I had to rid myself of those outdated, outmoded beliefs as well. And I would write the word allow on a wall, or I'd write it on my phone, or I'd put it in my car. And so if someone cut me off driving, I would see allow and okay, shift right back. Everything's fine. Everything's good. And maybe that person cut me off because I had to move over a lane because I was going to get into an accident a couple minutes down the road, and because that person cut me off, I avoided an accident, right?
Right.
So you have no idea what divine guidance is helping you with, and the scope of the imagination of what they can do. It is truly miraculous. And that is, I wish there was a bigger word that could describe divine guidance and help, because the word miraculous doesn't even begin to explain it to a human consciousness, because it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
So I think what you're also saying by saying allowing is you're saying be open to multiple perspectives, let's say.
Yes.
Don't judge, because you don't know what's really coming in.
Yes.
It may not be what you think is coming in.
Exactly.
It may be something completely different, and you have to allow
Exactly.
time and
Patience.
Patience.
That's a big one that we learn about during this process of allowing. Patience is a big one.
Yeah, and allowing just this vast possibilities to open up. Anything.
Anything can happen. And it does happen when you start doing the work and when you start realigning. It is incredible. The things that you'd only heard about in books or movies or from people that you thought were fictitious and that could never happen. Things happen, and they're real, and they're part of everyday life. And those little gifts, and it could be as little as what we think is like a sunset, right? But that's one of the biggest gifts that we just quickly go throughout our day, not looking at, not appreciating to the fullest degree. Or you could have a miraculous healing, right? That's a gift too, right? There's these little gifts all along the way that are placed around you as you start this process too, to keep you motivated, to keep you going. It was one of, and it still is, the most exciting part of this journey. And seeing people smile, that's a gift for me. You know, when I see them healing, seeing them smile, it's a gift. And so many of us don't see that. Someone smiling at you is a gift.
Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing with us what your experience and journey has been like, because I'm sure that's not an easy story to tell or share with everyone, especially and just anybody. If someone said, I'm ready, Stephanie, and I'm ready to start this journey as well, what is the first step or first thing that you recommend she or he does after shutting this video off?
Well, the first thing would be to sit quietly and get to know you for a little while. And then when you start to understand where you want to go, what you want to do, you can always find me at angelinterpreter.com, and I will be waiting for you to help you in any way that I can. But I want to thank you as well. I have been waiting for 7 years to release this information and to share my heart and my journey, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that experience and this opportunity. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.